finally, let me just talk a little bit about why I wrote this book, what my agenda was in writing this book, obviously beyond my secret Muslim agenda to destroy Christianity. There's that. But also, what I wanted to do was, well, twofold in any way. What I wanted to do was give people of faith, like I used to be, an opportunity to make sense of this central paradox of Christianity, which is that Jesus is fully God and fully man. This is a very, very difficult idea to maintain. Oh, and I understand that it's supposed to be a mystery. That's why it takes faith to understand it. I get that. But the problem with that idea, it's the problem that I had when I was a Christian, is that it's impossible to keep those two things together in your mind. The human part of Jesus will always be subsumed by the God part of Jesus. And no matter how hard you try to think about Jesus the man, to think about the suffering that he must have gone through, the fear that he must have experienced, the trials and tribulations that he must have faced, the fact of the matter is that in the back of your mind is this notion that, well, he's God. It's sort of like, I mean, the way that I describe it is that it's kind of like watching a tightrope walker with a net underneath him. So what? You know? For me, the incarnation was Jesus with a net. And what I wanted to do was to give Christians a real, true, honest sense of what it means to say Jesus was also a man. Because if that's true, then he lived in a very specific time. And that time affected, influenced, shaped who he was. That his teachings were directed to very specific social ills. That his actions were in a reaction to the political and religious authorities that he confronted. That he was, whatever else he was, a man of his time. And that if you truly want to know Jesus, then you have to know his time. For unbelievers, what I was hoping to do was to tell you why this man is so important. Why are people so obsessed with this guy? And to explain more than anything else that the example that this man set 2,000 years ago, the drive for social and economic justice, the sacrificing of himself on behalf of the poor and the weak, the dispossessed, the marginalized, the people who were his disciples, and the confrontation with the powers of his time, that these are models of behavior that are as pertinent today as they were 2,000 years ago. For me, as a non-Christian, Jesus is the man that I actually live my life in imitation of. I mean, that's how I want to be. I want to confront the social ills of my time the way he did. I want to confront the powers of my day the way he did. I want to show people that you can be a follower of Jesus without necessarily being a Christian. That's why I wrote this book.